Polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS as it's more commonly known. So, how do you know if you've got PCOS? So, to have PCOS, you need 2 out of these 3 things. So, the first one, an ovulation, so that is no period. It could also be an irregular period. The second one, hyperandrogenism, is an increase in testosterone and a male hormone profile. So, you might find that you've got facial hair, you might find that you've got an increase in strength compared to your other female friends. Third one is polycystic ovaries. Now, you can have polycystic ovaries and not have PCOS. So sometimes people do have polycystic ovaries, but they don't have the other 2, so then they don't get the effects of the PCOS. So to have PCOS, you need 2 out of those 3. So, what are the characteristics of PCOS and how does it affect you? So the first one and the main thing is reproduction issues. So it might mean that you are infertile and you've got increased pregnancy complications if you do get pregnant. Second one is metabolic, so it can drop your metabolic rate. It also can lead to insulin resistance, a risk for type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. It also has a psychological characteristic as well. So people with PCOS can sometimes have anxiety, sometimes have depression and a little bit of a reduced quality of life through the syndrome. So as I've just said, the metabolic issues, your BMR, so that's your basal metabolic rate. So the amount of calories that you just need to stay alive on a daily basis could be 15 to 40% lower of someone your same age, height and weight. So you could have someone that's exactly the same as you, the same age, you're both the same height, you're both the same weight, you're obviously the same gender, but you could need 40% less calories just to maintain your weight as to that other person. So this is a really bad thing that comes with PCOS. Now, there's no way of testing where you are on that apart from tracking calories and obviously working with different numbers. However, you may have to diet on low calories. So where some people might be able to diet on 1400 calories, someone with PCOS might need to diet on 1000 calories. Now, because this BMR is a lot lower, it will then mean that you are easily able to gain weight, because what would be a normal everyday meal for other people is obviously adding to your weight gain because your BMR is a lot lower. Now, something that's quite interesting, you would need a high protein meal before bed. So normal people without PCOS, overnight you would use fat to burn calories, and that would be your main source overnight. Now in people with PCOS, overnight you use protein. So if you don't have a high protein diet or a meal close to bedtime, you will then be using your muscles, breaking those down for energy throughout the night. Like I said, people without PCOS will use fat as a fuel source. So it's important that you have a high protein meal, protein shake before bed, so you've got some protein in your system. So then your body is sparing your muscles overnight because it's going to utilize protein and not fat. So that is a key important bit of information. So when you are training, what is the best way of getting more bang for your buck with training? So you want to focus on HIIT training and you want to focus on weight training. Those will both in turn improve insulin sensitivity, which is obviously one of the issues, along with fasted training. So fasted training is training before you have eaten. So in the morning, get up and then obviously do that fasted training. That will also help improve your insulin sensitivity. Manipulation of carbohydrates as well is a good thing to do. So, supplementation. Is there anything that you can have that will help a little bit towards your PCOS? So, omega-3 dosed at 2000 milligrams per day helps with insulin resistance. Then we've got vitamin D dosed at 4,000 to 10,000 IU, which is international units per day, helps with fat loss. L-carnitine. Now, this is something that a lot of people in the bodybuilding world will use for fat loss. However, studies have shown that L-carnitine isn't very beneficial towards fat loss unless you are insulin resistant. So with this, you are insulin resistant. So that actually does help with fat loss, and it is definitely something worth looking up and worth trying, dosed at 250 milligrams per day. However, in the normal everyday person without PCOS, L-carnitine isn't really much of a fat burner. However, it is marketed as that. A lot of bodybuilders use it, but studies have shown that in insulin resistant people, it will help with fat loss. Inositol. So this has come from a guy called Martin MacDonald, who is a nutritionist, very well up on different studies. He has come to find out that supplementing with inositol, 2 grams per day for 6 months minimum, will help bring back your menstrual cycle. It will also help with fertility. However, you need to give it this 6 months. And what he's found is that it won't work in everyone. However, it is worth supplementing if you can afford to buy some. It's not that expensive, but obviously all these come at a cost. If you are looking at getting pregnant or you're looking at getting your menstrual cycle back, bringing your menstrual cycle back and fertility will obviously help with hormone regulation as well. So I know that's a lot of information to take in, so I'll just go over it quick one more time. So to have PCOS, you need 2 out of the 3. Just having polycystic ovaries does not mean you've got the syndrome. So the characteristics, you're going to have increased pregnancy complications, you might be infertile, you're going to be insulin resistant at increase for different things. Psychologically, you could suffer from anxiety and depression. Your BMR is definitely 15, if not towards 40% lower, so you may have to diet on lower calories. Have a high protein meal before bed because overnight you utilise protein and not fat. HIIT training and weight training will help improve this insulin sensitivity along with fasted training, and these supplements can help towards insulin resistance, help with your fat loss and bringing your menstrual cycle back and help with that fertility. So hopefully this was useful. Obviously I'm not a doctor, so if you do have PCOS, speak to your doctor first and obviously get their opinion on where you should be, what you should be doing, and obviously suggest these supplements and ask their opinion. But hopefully this has helped a little bit, and if you do have any questions, please send me a message, please get in touch, and I will go into that a little bit more detail for you.